including the one bearing the president's own name. According to CNBC, nearly 746,000 crypto accounts holding Trump's token have already lost money as of early May. With crypto, in theory, if you wanted to bribe the president, you could buy enough of his meme coin and maybe he'll get the message that you need something done. According to analysts, Trump's team now controls at least 80% of the coin's supply. So if a prince or an oligarch or a billionaire CEO wants to quietly funnel money to Trump, all they have to do is buy his coin. No back channel, no envelopes of cash, no paper trail. Joining me now, Frank Figluzzi, MSNBC senior national security analyst. Frank's a former assistant director for counterintelligence at the FBI. He's the author of the book, The FBI Way, Inside the Bureau's Code of Excellence. Frank, good morning. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us, particularly so early in the morning from out west. We talk about espionage in terms of spies and classified information, but what happens when financial systems like unregulated markets like crypto become this new battleground for influence operations? We're not built for this. We're not prepared for this.
Yeah, we're not. And it's never been easier to try to get access to a president, to try and bribe a president, because now the machinery of that is out in the open. I'm old enough to remember when corruption and espionage-like activities on the business side happened in dark rooms, smoke-filled back rooms, dark restaurants. It's out in the open, and it's almost challenging us to do something about it, daring us to find a way to hold people accountable. And so yet the law has not caught up with technology, with the financial world. This is a constant game of trying to play catch up. And in this environment, our elected legislators, because the majority align themselves with the man in the Oval Office, they're unlikely to go for anything that impedes the kind of corruption that can happen when you can literally buy access to the president.
So let's talk about the one that I think has raised a lot of ire this week, this concept of pardons, right? Somebody buys tickets or whatever to an event, Donald Trump's events, by buying crypto coin, and then their son gets a pardon. It's hard because in the world of quid pro quo, there was some negotiation somewhere, or somebody has a tape recording, or there was some email. This is just a different world where it's kind of an unrecorded transaction.
Yes, and this dinner, this private dinner where VIP members, the biggest spenders, investors in the Trump coin, got a personal meeting with the president. This is mind-boggling if you've ever worked or run corruption cases, as I have in my FBI career. And what I'm really concerned about from a national security standpoint, Ali, is that what we know so far from various reporting is that at least half of these people who showed up at that digital coin dinner are based outside the United States, some of them with questionable backgrounds. And so that kind of foreign access to a president is very, very troubling. And then just generally the fact that you can donate to campaigns, to Trump, and it's leading to pardons, as is the case in the nursing home executive whose mother gave millions to the GOP candidates, showed up at a $1 million a plate dinner at Mar-a-Lago, and 3 weeks later, lo and behold, her son is pardoned. We're doing this out in the open, and we seem unable to stop it.
So here's the question. Is it good that it's out in the open so that we can all see it, we can discuss it, and we can realize that we don't have the guardrails in place for this? Or is it really bad that this is now happening in the open because it represents how far we've fallen?
So it's interesting. My answer to that question would be different based on how many years ago you asked it to me, because things that happened in the dark were more likely to get labeled corrupt because it goes toward corrupt intention, and more likely to get worked by an honest Department of Justice. Today, I say it's better to be out in the open. Why? DOJ is unlikely to work it as an allegation. The FBI is unlikely to open the case, and now the voters get to see it out in the open, and that will have an impact perhaps on changing the way government does business the next election.
Yeah, I think you're right, because we lived in a world where we thought there were rules and that it wasn't just an honor system. And we've learned in the last many years that we don't have enough teeth in some of these laws, and they don't do it. So at least now we can all discuss it, and your vote can be informed by someone who says, I'm going to clean up the system. I want to talk about the SEC recently dropping an investigation just days after a $75 million investment, as you mentioned, from a businessman into a Trump-linked coin. Can those things? What is supposed to happen? Is there supposed to be a probe, or are we just in this world of coins and meme coins and things like that? We don't have an infrastructure. This administration has bragged about deregulating the stuff or not regulating it, and these are one of these dangers that people perhaps didn't foresee.
So again, it's good news, bad news. In the days when I was in the FBI under DOJ, this case would be opened. Some field office or some headquarters entity, DOJ, a U.S. attorney in the field would say, we've got this reporting right in front of us. We are obligated to do something. This could be a quid pro quo. You do this for me, I do this for you in terms of official action. In this case, wiping clean a conviction. And it should be opened. Today, those mechanisms are not there for us. U.S. attorneys have all been named, new ones by the president, new attorney general, new FBI director, and announcements that, hey, we're really not going to be working things like this much anymore. This is free for all in terms of public corruption.
Well, let me just take an exit ramp here for a second, because the new FBI director and the assistant director were very committed to dealing with certain conspiracies that they were put in place to find the truth about, that the FBI and the feds were running January 6th, that something happened to JFK that we didn't quite understand, and that Jeffrey Epstein was killed in prison. And this week they spent most of their time, two of them, on TV, explaining to their conspiracy theorist base that those conspiracy theories aren't actually true. So I'm hoping at some point maybe they get back to the work of doing what the FBI is supposed to be doing.
Gosh, I'm with you on that hope, but I'm not very optimistic. Many increasingly high numbers of FBI agents wake up every day in the field and go chase migrants with ICE, and they aren't necessarily the worst of the worst or criminal people that they're chasing down. And you have to ask yourself, what is not getting done every day with the FBI's priorities for counterterrorism and counterespionage and corruption and civil rights? It's not necessarily happening. That's what worries me. New York Times comes out with a report this morning that more movement at the top of field offices and headquarters is happening, people being jumped up in the promotion ranks who may not be qualified. We're going to see more and more of this.
Frank, it's great to see you. Thank you for being with us. Frank Figliuzzi is an MSNBC senior national security analyst. He's a former FBI assistant director for counterintelligence. He's the author of the book, The FBI Way, Inside the Bureau's Code of Excellence, newly relevant given the way the FBI is running these days. We'll be right back. Plenty more.